What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host, Amanda. Amanda, how about that Super Bowl? That was a lot of fun to watch.
It was fun at first. As far as like it being a good game, like obviously I wanted the Eagles to win. They were my like week 3 Super Bowl pick, but man, that game got real lopsided real quick.
I loved every second of it. Abe, great to have you back on. Great to have you all season long. And we got to the Super Bowl and an exciting game, a fun game. I mean, it was a blowout, but I think the country, a lot of the fans were tired of the Chiefs three-peat talk, and they wanted something new, and the Eagles gave them that.
Yeah, I don't think it got shit to do with that. I think it was just a better team won the game. I mean, I'm being realistic. I've watched football my whole life, but seeing a defensive line dominate like that and seeing
Yeah,
a quarterback being that poised, I mean, and he said it started from being benched in the national championship game when he was in Alabama. Then he went
yeah,
to Oklahoma, graduated with his master's in relations. So I'm like, dude, like everything he's doing is he's just like the perfect dude. And people talk so much trash about him. He's not a guy that you see getting in trouble at all. You see him like being poised in every part of his life, even when it comes to relationships with his just his mom, with his family, with everyone. And it seemed like I hate it so much because even from that game, I became a big fan of his because how he handled it in the national championship game, went to Oklahoma, paid well. And everybody just always talk trash about him. From Oklahoma. Oh, he's not well developed. He's not this. He's not that. I'm like, dog, they're gonna got to get this man a break. So then you give him AJ Brown. You give him Smith. Then you
yeah,
finally piece like this is what any fucking quarterback needs. That's what's crazy though. You can get a quarterback and they always be like, oh well, he had this. Nah, you give him a stack thing and he gonna win the Super Bowl. You can say that, oh, it was Saquon, it was this, but you gotta give Jalen Hurts when he played in that big game, how he
yeah.
played, how poised he was running the ball and staying consistent all year, not letting us get in his ear, talking about
Mhm.
how terrible he is and how they need Saquon. And Amanda, big ups to you. You said it. You was like, I think they're going to try to throw the ball. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know about that, but you hit it dead on the head, and they put it in his hand, and he whooped ass. But like I said, the big thing is time of possession, and that young D line. I don't know how they're going to keep all them guys together, but I know Graham. Bye. Good luck on your life now. You are totally gone now because
Yeah,
how
we
that
don't
they,
need you no more.
the second half they brought their second. They had their second string in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still not about. I was like, son of a itch. That's a stretch. But I was like, that's crazy stuff. So for me, it was a good game, and like I said, big ups to Jalen Hurts for the poise. And like when I said, everybody's talking about how much he getting paid. And I'm sorry for talking so much, y'all, but I was
No,
really
you're
sensitive
good.
about it.
You're riled
I
up.
really,
It's all right.
That's why you're here. Yeah,
but he like the poise he had from always talking trash. You never seen him take low blows at people. He always said what he can do better. He always talk about how his team can get better. He always talking about not fearing just everything that people coming at him and to win the championship and still not be an asshole when he won.
Mhm.
You
yeah,
know, he still didn't talk. He's just poised like, yeah, da 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 da
Yeah.
da da da.
Well, I noticed he wasn't being cocky. They were up 3 scores and he wasn't
yeah,
bragging. He wasn't like making faces. He just kept his face straight until the end of the game when it was finally sealed and the clock was running out. And I mean, I respect the hell out of that guy. Like you said, he's never been in trouble. There's never any negative press about him. He has an all-female led team, which I adore. Like he's just such a good guy and it's hard not to root for him. But there are so many good stories on that Eagles team. I mean,
yeah.
two of the boys, I mean, Cooper DeJean's birthday, Saquon's birthday, both of them won a Super Bowl on their birthday. Like I'm a February 7th girl, so I love the Super Bowl birthday combo. It's my favorite. We
Mhm.
call it Super Birthday. It's a whole thing. But there are so many good stories. Like we had a son playing on the Eagles when there's pictures of his dad holding him as a baby who was also an Eagle. Like that storylines were so good. And Hugh Jackson and I got into it a little bit in our Super Bowl predictions because I said I don't think Kansas City has faced a defense that is this good and this put together in a couple months now. And every game Kansas City has faced a good defense, they squeaked by with a win off a little bit of luck. That Denver game, I mean, a blocked field goal won
Yeah.
them that game. Like
The
every time
Raiders game.
faced a good defense, it was a
Yeah.
very close game. And I had a feeling the game was going to go like this. And man, it feels good to be right, though.
Well, the Eagles, a lot of talk is about the Eagles defense, and rightfully so, because they were dominant. They played lights out. but this team is just so well built. I mean, Chris Sims was talking about that offensive line might be the best line since the Cowboys in the 90s. Like, they are loaded. And if you had told me that Saquon Barkley was going to be held to, what did he have in this game? 57 yards
57,
rushing.
yeah.
I would have said Chiefs by a lot. Like, I thought Saquon was the
They
X
even put up
factor.
70.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
97 combined, but 57 rushing yards. They held him in check all game. Credit to the Chiefs defense. They came in, they said, Saquon's not going to beat us. But like you guys said, Jalen Hurts balled out. And it takes me back to when he lost the first Super Bowl and he stayed on the field and watched the confetti fall and kind of took it all in. This meant a lot to him. I think that's why he didn't show any emotion, because of how much this game meant to him. So, huge win. But, Abe, were you surprised that the Chiefs were able to contain Saquon as much as they were?
I wasn't really worrying about it, man. When I saw Jalen, because like I was thinking the whole time I watched the game, I'm like, damn, Amanda was right. Fuck. I'm like, there's no way. I said they're gonna try, and I wasn't even. It's so messed up because you really saw the whole year they never really got exposed, but they DBs are shit, and these it wasn't no, it was man to man, AJ Johnson. I mean, yeah, it was just like if you watch the game, like it was literally just one-on-ones, and he was sitting there in the. He had that one bad pass, he kind of threw when he threw the pick, but besides that, he controlled the whole game. They didn't need to run the ball, and I think they came into the game like shit. They expecting us to do this and do that. Let them have that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but then you get Philly defense. I did not know that. Like they did not even have to blitz. That front four, like it was blitzing everything. They kind of said, F it, we're just going to go after them. We don't care. Like, because, some teams be like, nah, we can't let them get out of the pocket. That's when we make amazing plays. They didn't give a shit. They were like, look, let him run out of the pocket. He's going to have somebody on his ass the whole game. And I'm looking like, man, I would have loved to play in that game because it was just like their hair was on fire. They say their ears pinned back and they were just going after. And that was some of the best. But Mahomes had like, their offense only had like 35 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
20 yards passing. I mean, that's some stats that you would never, ever have thought. And I'm looking like, but you can, and also this is something I just paid attention to. What team was really focused during the Super Bowl? You seen so many Kansas City Chiefs making all these jokes and joking around, and you ain't seen Hurts them out there. You ain't seen Saquon them joking around. Like I'm looking at just the media because they were so comfortable. Everybody worrying about Taylor. Everybody worrying about all this stuff. They worrying about Belichick coming out with his girlfriend and all this stuff. You ain't seen Philly like making jokes with people. You ain't seen like Slay out here. You ain't seen Slay trying to talk trash or nothing like that. You ain't seen them commercials they making doing it. You ain't seen none of that. You ain't seen none of them on the look. I guess, man, it was just like, and they came to play. I was just so shocked it was that good because I told y'all, I said, I just can't see somebody. I said the whole year, I kept saying Kansas City. Kansas City. After that first drive, and I saw how they was coming out there, I said, okay, well, this ain't no fluke. Like they out there. And when I seen him just running for his life, I ain't never seen Patrick Mahomes just look like fear. Like him, and you seen Kelsey. I think somebody put a meme like, I was supposed to propose after the game.
I feel bad for Travis Kelce because he showed up to the game in the outfit you wear if you win and you're going out celebrating in the city afterwards. He was basically this color, like a burnt orange shimmery top. And then he had to walk in full lighting to his post-game interviews about losing, sparkling like a little orange disco ball. You gotta bring a gray hoodie or something like somber to wear if you lose. Like you got to bring a backup outfit. Like that's so uncomfortable. Like sitting there like sparkling in the lights of the cameras and stuff as you get interviewed about not being able to catch a damn thing in the game. Like, ugh.
He might retire. He was visibly upset after the game. He thought they were going to win, and that's got to hurt to be that close to a three-peat, that close to making NFL history, and to get blown out.
That was not close.
But let's get into this.
Let's get into it. It was not close. Stop lying. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, they were one game away.
Dude, that wasn't close. That was not even close. Now, it would have been 35-34. Bro, it was like 40-6 at one point. That was not close. I don't care what y'all say. It was not close to me. That was nowhere. That was a mile away. Like if we get beat in the NFC Championship game by 50 points, it's not. They were not close to. They didn't give them no chance of thinking they were going to win that game. There was no part of it in the second half. We seen that score. I started to go home, but I said, I'm going to watch the rest of the game. I got home, I said 36, 37. What the hell is on my watch? How they got 6 points? They must have just gave
exactly.
Yeah, it was just garbage time.
They had, bro, there was not even close. That's like when Brady them, when they was one, they won every game, and in the Super Bowl they lost. They was not close to winning that game. I'm sorry. Win the game was not close. Like, I'm sorry. 1 point, field goal, maybe. Nah, that shit was not close.
Amanda, so let's get into, I broke this down in a few bulletin points here. So opening drive, the Eagles convert a bit. I think they went for it on 4th down, and they converted that huge pass to A.J. Brown, and they called that ticky-tack offensive pass interference. I texted you. I was like, here come the refs, Kansas City refs. What did you think of that? That was a terrible call.
I think it was a bad call, but they were calling every little gentle brush of another player on both sides. Like, it didn't feel one-sided. I mean, that first play, obviously, the Eagles started with the ball, so I was like, oh, hell no, not this shit again. Because my issue with the Chiefs all season is I didn't see a big blowout win from them that impressed me against any team. And every time they beat a good team, like the Bills, there was some ref drama, some, cynicism about whether the game was refereed fairly. But this one, I mean, the refs were calling everything. They were not letting them play. Like, I think somebody brushed the back of their wrist against someone's face mask, and it was a face mask call. The ball was yards away, but I mean, they were calling everything, but it didn't feel one-sided, which was nice. And you mentioned that pick, Abe. That pick was perfect. I know Jalen Hurts shouldn't be throwing picks in the Super Bowl, but it was 3rd and 10, and he caught it on the 2-yard line. That was better than a punt on the next play.
But
smarter for the defensive player to bat it out of bounds and then receive an extra 28 yards on the 30. Like, it was a bad play for the defensive player to grab that pick and not be able to return it. He should have just knocked that shit out of bounds.
But if you get an opportunity for a pick in the Super Bowl, you're going to go catch it. You're not thinking team first at that.
I know, but it still shorted them 28 yards, and then they did nothing with it.
That's a great point. Abe, what did you think? Chris Jones, on the first score, they did the brotherly shove quarterback sneak. And Chris Jones, after the touchdown, was kind of like getting his neck worked on. As a former defensive lineman, do you think about that? Would you hate the brotherly shove defending that? And can that lead to neck injuries or any type of injury on those plays? You think they should ban that?
Bro, it's football. Shut up. Oh, don't possibly get hurt. I'm not even gonna comment on that. Next, I ain't gonna talk about that.
They shouldn't ban it.
Football. I'm not next. We're not.
And that's the thing. They were stopping the Bills on that. So, but the Eagles do it better. They got a better O line.
You don't see no people having neck injuries on that shit. So let it go.
Yeah, that's true.
And let it go.
Amanda, great point on that interception. Abe, the Spagnuolo blitz forced that interception. They were in his face, and he kind of just threw it up into double coverage. Spags has been great at that all year, those blitzes,
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Like, me being a football player and understanding when you have someone hard, Kansas City couldn't have did anything in that game. And you think about it, if they wanted to be assholes, they could have ran the score up more. They could have, their defense could have came off the ball. Like, it's kind of like defense at the end of the game. They just kind of get the game over. So they're letting them catch balls, do things, make it look good. But if they wanted to be, I could have seen them easily putting up another 55, easy. So they just, we got our win. Let's go home. But Kansas City going to have a lot of stuff that they're going to have to work on next year, because seeing Philadelphia, everybody talking about Philadelphia already the best. The team that you're looking to win again next year. They have a D line like that. If they can make it to the playoffs, I can see it. We ain't worrying about Saquon having the 2,000-yard year next year, because as long as we can get to the playoffs, a lot of teams don't understand. Most now they don't really worry about having It's kind of like Kansas City all the year was coasting. We thought it was kind of coasting. And that might have bit them in the ass. All them games we said they barely winning, they barely win this, field goal here, missed field goal here, blocked field goal here. It didn't even come, they didn't even like they didn't even make it like a thought. Like, okay, like when I said defeated, like even Andy Reid, everybody just looked defeated, man.
Yeah.
Like the coordinator was screaming at nobody, like, dude, y'all down, man. Like, it's too late to be mad. Like, it's like, oh man, I'm like, it was just terrible, man, all together, man.
Well, something I've
Amanda,
noticed about this Chiefs team is you look at these names and how successful these players on this team have been for years. Like their team is getting old. Like
yeah,
one of their best
Kelsey,
defensive players who really helped out in their past two Super Bowls, L'Jarius Sneed, is gone. Chris Jones
yeah,
was injured on their first possession, and then I mean he was nursing his knee later in the game too. Like he was banged up the whole game. Like a lot of these players on that Chiefs team, like yeah, they've been really successful, but it kind of seems like their careers might be, heading the other way. Like they might have peaked already. And then you look at this Eagles team, very young, fantastic draft the last 2 years. Can we
yeah.
talk for a second about how Carson Wentz had to feel as a backup quarterback for the Chiefs in this game? Looking at the four players that the Eagles got for him running up the scoreboard, like Devontae Smith, fantastic game. AJ Brown, mwah.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, like Cooper DeJean was their final pick that they got for the Carson Wentz trade. Like, how hard would it have to be Carson Wentz and be like, wow, this is what they got for me. Cool. I'll just fuck myself then. Like, just his mindset. I would love to just like I want to interview Carson Wentz and be like, "Yo, how's it feel, man? Like,
Well,
has anyone checked on him? Is he okay?" Like,
my favorite aspect of this, because the national media has been crowning Mahomes for forever, ever since he came into the league. And this was a huge legacy game for Mahomes. The difference between 4-1 in the Super Bowl with a three-peat or 3-2 with two blowouts. And that's a big difference. And Mahomes didn't play that well in this game, Amanda. Mahomes dirted a pass to Kelsey on third down. He had 3 turnovers. I had some people tell me, oh, it wasn't Mahomes' fault. It was the offensive line is the reason they lost the game because they got completely dominated. Mahomes played fine. I disagree. I think Mahomes played like shit in the biggest game of the year. What do you think, Amanda?
there was that one play where they were going after him, and instead of just throwing the ball away, he wasted like 5 minutes running around in
Yeah,
circles. Like
yeah.
his decision making in this game was so questionable.
He had
I
happy
feel
feet
like
right away.
I
Yeah.
feel like they went into it just assuming they were going to win and did not like they were not on it at all.
Does
So go ahead.
does this change your thought process on Mahomes at all? It's a big difference, but between winning that game and losing it, and now you've got 2 Super Bowl blowouts. He didn't look very good in it. I'm sure they're going to be back next year. They're going to be contenders every year, but that's a big loss, don't you think? Especially if you're trying to catch Brady.
Well, I think they should have lost in 23. I was just going to say,
Yeah.
like, Philly right now is poised to be the dynasty type team.
Yeah.
I mean, how they stacked up right now, Saquon might have 3-4 good years left. They found another running back to put in his position, but that D line is going to be there.
They're babies too. They're young.
Yeah.
They're kids, so that D line is going to be like, well, Jalen ain't even 30 yet.
Yeah.
So he got like 15 years of football left. So you got to the next 10 years, if he go to the Super Bowl 2-3 more times, win a couple more,
Yeah.
and the first 10 years of his career, you got to put him up. I know I ain't gonna say GOAT, but I'm gonna say you got to put him up there with one of the best quarterbacks that ever came out. He can make it back because I know what really killed him about that first game. He had a fumble that caused a touchdown. That ended up being a big difference in the game.
Yep.
So it messed up. That
was personal.
Yeah.
Think about it. If they won in 2018, 2023, and 2025. If they win again, they didn't win in 23, but if they would have won in 23, and if they would have win again next year, or if they press, even they don't win next year, if they win 2 more in the next, like the first 10 years, is he up there with them too? Like, you got to start talking like, well, Jalen we tripping y'all because he should have won that first Super Bowl. And I think he might be the first that didn't win it their first time. They came back and won.
Yeah.
I think he's the first person to ever do that. So
yeah.
I'm happy for him just because like how he handled himself as a man. You don't never see him act any different. He don't bitch. He don't be crying or nothing like that. Go out there, go to work. And I want to see that next contract clause. You might get $100 million a year. Sheesh.
And to that point where I was going, Amanda, is he didn't just play bad when the game was out of control or anything like that. this game was to be had. It was 10-0 when he
Mhm.
throws that pick six,
Yeah.
17-0. Then he immediately throws another one, and you're down 24-0. Those two turnovers were huge. I
Well,
mean,
you and I have messaged back and forth so many times this over the season. Granted, later in the season they started making a run. The postseason, obviously, they went out to get here. But how many times do we message back and forth? Does Patrick Mahomes suck now? What's going on with the Chiefs? Why are
yeah,
they behind in this game? Like we had this conversation so many times about the decrease in talent that we've seen last year coming into this year. There's a lot of pieces missing. They didn't lose a ton of players, but a lot of the positions that were covered last year, they've declined in, and you can, I mean,
yeah.
we saw it. Abe, I got a question for you. So Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, there's been a lot of talk about what their nickname should be as, the two white defensive players. They're starting a podcast called Exciting Whites, which is a joke about how wine stores or alcohol stores label like the different wine areas, and like Exciting Whites is a picture in like a
Yeah,
Safeway or
white
something.
line.
Are you going to be listening to the Exciting Whites podcast, Abe?
Mhm.
I think right now everybody will. I mean, you
Yeah.
got when you have your opportunity to, to make it like that, but you better use it. Like shit, everybody click. I'm gonna watch and see if it's funny. If it ain't, I'm like, fuck you. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no,
You know what's going to be funny? Cooper DeJean is on the sidelines. There's so many clips of him. He'll just be
he
standing
look
there. No one's paying him any attention.
he play like a black guy, so he probably funny like one. He in the
Yeah,
locker room,
yeah,
all black.
exactly. He's got some swag.
He gonna have some motherfucking story for y'all because he one white kid without. We had Croy Bierman. Croy Bierman was the only white guy in our locker room for the longest, right?
The
It was
token
all
whitey,
it was
token
all
cracker.
Croy. Croy was just like, but then when he met his little Kim, everything changed. But he was so hilarious at first. Then he got her. It was just like he started showboating. Pants got tight. I mean, I remember the first time we went to the strip club together. He was like, "Hey, I got my first black girl number." I was like,
Suddenly
it was
starts seasoning his chicken.
It was like his year, man. It was so hilarious. But I haven't seen him much, but I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think more people are having fun with life today than ever. People are okay to talk about stuff. And I think have y'all ever watched The Boys?
hmm
I
Yeah,
think The Boys describes like NFL life, regular life, the best thing you can see. You see some people that we think they're just the clean cut guys and they're like the worst. And we see the people that we
yeah.
think are the worst and they're like the nicest. So I just started watching it and I was just like, wow, this is so interesting. It really is true like this. This is real life. I know guys who like that. Y'all think he's cool. He's not. He had the Diddy parties.
hmm
The Diddy
The
bird.
Cooper DeJean thing cracks me up. I wanted him in the draft. He was number one on my Packers draft. Like, obviously, every team had an opportunity to get him because he fell to the second round. But I had him at the top of my board. But I've seen so many clips. He'll just be on the sideline and no one's paying him any attention. And he just randomly shouts, AJ Brown, like out of the blue. Just fucking random. Like, he's like the
Mhm.
weird little brother that you just adore. Like, he's just so just awkward, but like lovable. Like I think the podcast is going to be hilarious, and I like the name they chose. I was going for like the Snow Fly Zone or the Blizzard, but Exciting Whites works, I guess.
Flies on.
He
I
was
like
he was awesome in college too at Iowa. He's always been a
So
lot of
good.
fun to watch, and it's great to see him. And then on his birthday in the Super Bowl, a pick six, and not just a pick six off of Mahomes. Like that's such
His
a big
first
deal.
one.
Yeah, so cool. So great for the Eagles. I mean, I kept waiting for the Chiefs to make their run. It's 10-0, it's 17-0, it's 24-0 at halftime. I'm like, here go the Chiefs. They get the ball first to start the second half. They're gonna go get 7 and make this a game. They go 3 and out. Next thing you know, it's 34-0. At that point, that was when I tweeted, "That's the nail in the coffin right there."
I had a
Um,
theory in the first, I think going into the second quarter, I was like, are they trying to overcome Brady's biggest Super Bowl comeback ever? Is
yeah,
this,
I
is
was.
this what they're doing? Are they going for a 25-point comeback here? Like I was
Yeah,
like, I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, like conspiracy theory wise, like, is this what's happening? But no,
yeah,
that was not. They just sucked.
that
yeah,
would have
but
been incredible, but
yeah, you can't say Mahomes lost the game. You got to say the Eagles won it. Like,
So the
but
Eagles
yeah,
oh no, Mahomes
manhandled them.
played bad. Like nobody felt that way. Nobody was like they were like, nah, that D line. Like even the pick, like his 2 picks was coming from pressure. Like they was on his ass.
Yeah.
So
He
it's
got beat
different.
up.
Yeah, it's
They forced
different.
that fumble. Yeah.
Yeah, like with Kirk Cousins, they was like, oh, he lost the game. Yeah, he threw 3, 4 picks. Mahomes lost the game. No, they was just the defense just beat him. Like it was not even.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for
Well,
him. He
DeAndre
looked.
Hopkins with an uncharacteristic big drop on third down. You know, just one of those games where the Chiefs couldn't get it going for whatever reason. The Eagles were just ready to go from the tip. Great game, fun to see the Eagles get the Super Bowl. Yeah,
And the Packers still have the only world championship three-peat in history.
doesn't count if it
I
was
don't fucking
before the
care what it
Super
was
Bowl.
called. Nah. 60,
Hey,
61, and
if you're
62. Thank
gonna
you very much.
if you're gonna take credit for the three-peat, then I'm gonna take credit for the Bears having the second most championships in football history.
To be fair, though, the three-peat or whatever, it's so much harder to do now because there was
Yeah.
like 11 NFL teams back then. Like, ooh,
Thanks
cool.
for bringing that up. I want to say this, and Abe, let me know what you think. I swear, and this just, I'm doubling down and tripling down on this. There's never going to be a three-peat in modern football. It's not going to happen. If the Chiefs couldn't do it, no one can do it. It's too hard with free agency, drafting, all this different stuff. They're 18 games trying to go to 20 games, etc. I don't think a three-peat is possible in modern football. Do you guys agree with that?
I think everything is meant to be broken, and I think it's going to happen. I'm not sure because I think Amanda agreed with me. How the rookie quarterbacks are being so much more mature and
Yeah.
having no teams like that. So I can see there's going to be a rookie win a Super Bowl in the next 20 years. I just believe it because how the teams are setting up. And if you have a good running back that's young, you have a good D line, and I'm hoping that Falcons watch this game and understand draft like 3 or 4 people.
Thank you. Yeah.
Draft, I was hoping they get Nolan
Draft from
Smith.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia D line. Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
during the draft, I was calling the Eagles the Philadelphia Beagles because they were drafting dogs.
Yeah, so
The Beagles. Oh my god.
I get it. They drafted all Bulldogs, Beagles, Eagles. Come on, it works.
I like the Georgia Eagles or the Philly Dogs or something like that.
Because that takes way less effort. Come on, Beagles is perfect.
yeah, I like Beagles.
See?
But yeah, so you guys heard it from me first. There's not going to be a three-peat. I will if I'm 100 and it happens, then I'll say okay. But it's not going to happen before I'm 100. If Georgia couldn't do it, the Chiefs couldn't do it.
You don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to make his comeback on his new team and do a three-peat real quick before he retires?
Yeah, John, what the Jets are too good for Aaron Rodgers? They're not bringing him back? What's going on there? Where's Rodgers going to play?
No, they're too bad with Aaron Rodgers.
I think, you can't have 2 Aarons in the locker room. You have Aaron and Aaron trying to say which one y'all. Hey, Aaron, what we doing today? Nope. Get them out because you got 2 Aarons. They don't know who's the boss now. We got Aaron and Aaron. So, hey, Aaron, what? No. Yeah. One of them had to go, but no, I think knowing Aaron Glenn, he probably sat down with Aaron and asked him what he really wanted to do, and he told him what he wanted from him, and Aaron probably said, "Well, I'd rather be like this. I'm a little more late." He probably like, "Aaron, I want you, on the off season, I don't want you not coming today because I need to get to know you." Aaron probably like, "Look, that ain't me no more.
Yeah.
I got one massage, whatever that shit is. I got stuff to do on the off season. I'm on Jeopardy for like 3 weeks. I got this going on." And he might have told him, "I need you there the whole time," because Aaron is, like he said, it's going to be a different atmosphere in there, and sometimes you got to make those decisions. And I promise you, they probably still cool because both of those Aaron are strong-minded guys, and both of them understand we're still cool, but we agree to disagree, and good luck. I
think they absolutely recognize that they're not going to be a good match. I mean, Aaron Rodgers even with the Packers, he was like, nah, I'm gonna skip all the non-mandatory stuff. But like you got a
At
new
this
coach in
point,
there, you
yeah.
need to get to know him. Like a lot of new rookies coming in, like you have to be there. And Aaron Rodgers is not that guy. He needs to step into a team that's 95% built already, but just needs a quarterback.
Right.
So I tweeted that watch for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae to go to the 49ers this offseason. It wouldn't surprise me. I've got an updated version of that, though. Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae to Pittsburgh. Amanda knows about Rodgers Tomlin kind of relationship they got going on there.
They flirt, they blow kisses and shit. It's adorable.
But you guys agree it's probably going to be Rodgers and Devontae going somewhere together, right? And that's a big addition wherever.
Maybe. I like
Pittsburgh
him going
is,
to the Steelers because that's the only team
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has beaten the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Devontae and Pickens at receiver. They need a receiver.
I mean, that makes sense. I hate the concept of them going to the 49ers. The 49ers knocked the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers out of the playoffs so many times in a no. Fuck that noise. Never. But the Steelers would make sense.
Kirk Cousins to the 49ers. How about that?
I like that better.
Yeah. No.
He likes
Man,
wearing red.
I'm hoping that they honor Purdy and give him like I just want to see him get a big check. Like I don't care if it's like 20 million for 1 year or something, but get that man some money. He
He's
took
so
Yeah.
y'all.
unappreciated. It is
He
bullshit.
took y'all to the Super Bowl, man, and he had trash this year. Now Debo say he out there, like
Yeah,
so.
Debo's out.
I think Debo making a big mistake, but he might go someplace else and be great. But I'm like, San Francisco loved you so much, man, and if you're just mad because of situations of how somebody went in the media or something went in the locker room, man, sometimes you got to be the bigger man and be like, look, I want to stay here. I'm gonna try to win again because y'all had one bad year, really. But I think Aaron would be good there. But I'm kind of I feel Purdy is in the situation I feel like Jalen Hurts was in college. You like, y'all blaming me for all this stuff. I took y'all to y'all said I can be the guy that took y'all to the Super Bowl. I did my part. I got y'all there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about now? And now y'all just like he ain't good enough to be a starting quarterback no more. It hurts my feelings, man. Like, dude,
Yeah.
like I'll take him over Dak just because I ain't paid him.
100%.
And I
Yeah.
ain't paid him. Hey, give me Purdy. I got him like last, and he doing all this. I mean, how close is Dak been to the Super Bowl? Come on.
Yeah,
But
I
Dak,
know. That's a big thing.
I think coming into the season, he was absolutely the most overrated player in the NFL.
Dak.
Yeah.
got to check.
And the Cowboys are going backwards. I don't like that Brian Schottenheimer hire at all.
I do, because
I
Lambeau
don't
Field South is my favorite place to win games as a Packers fan. Like, that's cool. They can keep fucking it up. Like,
You heard they trying
y'all
to
make
set it
bad decisions.
the Manning, right? You heard that little thing that
Art?
Cam Newton said, like they gonna like he's pretty much in there one and done. They're gonna try to tank, then they're gonna try to go get the Manning the Manning boy. So he's trying to
Arch
Manning.
Manning. Speaking
yeah,
of white
Yeah.
boys with some swag, there's been some videos of him out there dancing. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
He's not your typical Manning. Yeah.
He a little
he
bit
said
dark on
I'm
the
not
inside. He was saying that he said
he's
Eli and Peyton don't have any swag, so he had to bring some to the family. Like
he's got some running ability too.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
but
Um,
they said his brother was athletic too. They said the brother that didn't make Cooper. They said
right.
it's Cooper.
Or,
Yeah, they said Cooper. What is his name? Cooper. Right? The other brother. The other
yeah.
man.
I forget his name, but yeah, the third Manning.
They said he was pretty fast. They said he was
Oh,
like,
poor guy.
Real hot take. I'm gonna let you guys know the worst hire of the 2025 coaching cycle was the last one. The Saints just hired Kellen Moore. Saints, get ready for a terrible season. This was a terrible hire. Kellen Moore is an okay offensive coordinator. He's not an NFL head coach. I swear my Bears were gonna hire this guy. I'm just happy they didn't get him. Kellen Moore is a bad hire for the Saints.
My favorite scripted like video is Kellen Moore sitting at a table coloring. And they're like, "Oh, buddy, here we're gonna give you a new team now. Like, how's he doing with the team?" And they're like, "Oh, he's almost done with his picture." Like, he is so carried by the coaching staff around him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am intrigued to see how he does on his own. Like, I've hated on him a lot. I'm interested to see how this opportunity goes for him. Also, Abe, it was Cooper Manning. I had to look that up to make sure we said his
Cooper
name.
Manning?
Cooper
Yeah.
Manning was the third
I was
boy.
right.
Yeah, you're right.
The one thing I can say for Kellen Moore is there's a rumor that he might be bringing John Gruden with him as offensive coordinator. That would be the one thing that could help him out.
Again,
But
carried by his staff.
yeah,
Hmm
he better hire a great staff because he's not the guy. But yeah. Are you guys? So I'm already into my draft coverage. Are you guys following the drafts at all? I'm so hyped for the draft. I know it's only February, but
I mean, it's the combine's coming up at the end of the month. Like you're allowed to be
yeah,
hyped. I'm enjoying a couple weeks off. Like my hair
yeah.
took the day off. Like we're yeah. I'm taking a couple weeks off. I'm gonna be off the clock a little bit.
Abe, I think so. I think Cam Ward goes number one to the Titans, the quarterback out of Miami. I truly believe that the Raiders need to trade up, top the Giants, get to number two, and take Shador Sanders. Tom Brady's been his mentor. Brady's kind of running things in Vegas. Do you think that would be a good move for the Raiders to bring in Shador?
Not really. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't like the Raiders' offensive line, and you see that Shador can be a good quarterback if he has a great line, but
yeah,
you have the Raiders have since probably the early 2000s they had a great line, like literally just some hogs. You know, people used to be aggressive and scary looking on. Their D line is good. They always seem to
yeah,
find a good defensive line players out of nowhere or a good cornerback. But when the last time they had a great offensive line besides the Tampa Bay Super Bowl and they got crushed by Tampa? So it's like, because I'm not saying Shador is not a good quarterback, but he has to be in a good situation. Like
yeah,
they talking about the Giants, they talking about Vegas, and I'm thinking about the offensive line terrible, the offensive line terrible. You know, so it's the places he's going to go. He's going to really have to be a good quarterback. It's not. I'm telling you, like he can either have one of those incredible careers or downhill fast because
yeah,
has a lot of confidence, and you understand being in the league, and we know that you're Deion's son. We're gonna take it personally, not
yeah,
not like we're trying to hurt him or anything, but we're gonna give you them looks. We're gonna every bad thing you got on tape, all that frustration that you might have, all that confidence you thought you had doing the watch thing. Try it in the
yeah. The
league.
last thing.
Man, that junk gonna be something. Like I said when Baker Mayfield got in the league, I was just like, and I think TMZ or somebody came to talk to me, and I was like, Baker Mayfield doing all this, Ray. I said they ain't gonna fly in the league, man. He was out of the league so quick. So I'm saying you better watch how like you can be confident, but going to Vegas, it's a lot of stuff to do in Vegas. He got a great dad that we know going to stir him right, even with Tom Brady, but. Sometimes your skills are different when you get in the league, man. And I'm hoping for the best, but I'm just being realistic. And who's
Yeah,
the receiving core they're gonna have?
yeah. They got to upgrade that as well. They've got a lot of holes over there. Besides Brock Bowers, that's like the only bright spot on the offense, at least.
I
Brock, my
like
guy.
Ashton Genty to the
To the
Raiders.
Bears. To the
No, the
Bears.
Raiders.
The
No.
Bears.
I
Bears.
see the Jets trading up into the top five for a quarterback.
Yeah, they need to either that or get a veteran. But there's only two top quarterbacks.
Mhm.
Outside of that, there's a huge drop off. Whether you like Jackson Dart or Jalen Milrow, there's a big gap there.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, I'm not sure if Quinn's coming out or not, but
I only have two QBs in my top 20. Like
yeah.
yeah, there's a gap after that. It's huge drop off. Absolutely agree with you there.
Quinn Ewers, Dylan Gabriel, Kyle McCord, Riley Leonard, guys like that. And those are all kind of like projects at the
Yeah.
NFL level. So
I feel like Shador isn't going to be an immediate start kind of.
yeah, ideally
Uh,
sit him for at least half a year.
yeah, I've got him with my JJ McCarthy grouping. Like, gonna be good year two or three.
But I
Um,
like Cam Ward a lot. To me, his NFL comp is Jaden Daniels. I think Cam Ward's got some. He needs to cut down on the turnovers. He needs to be better decision making, not as reckless. But he's got some skills. Did you like Cam Ward at Miami, John?
It's not that I don't like him. It's just his body or something like makes him. He looked weird to me as a quarterback. Like I'm serious. I know it
Well,
sounds.
Daniels is skinny too.
No,
uh,
like okay, out of the pass, he looked like an athlete. In the pass, like if you ever seen Brian Leftwich in pass, you'd be like, ugh. So it's kind of like go back and watch the tape and see.
No,
where
I
is
know
today?
that's right. Yeah.
You got number one on you look stank. Like that's like I'm kind of like I ain't saying he ain't gonna be a good quarterback, but I also think that he was stacked on a good team also. But no.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the Jaden Daniels comparison, Jaden Daniels went to a team with a fantastic head coach. Like Dan
Yes.
Quinn was in the running neck to neck for
Weapons
coach of the
around
year.
him, all that stuff. Yeah.
I worry about the Titans and their coaching staff
They got
being
a
able
lot
to
of
do as
holes
much with
too.
it.
Yeah.
We've got youngins catching strays over here. Did y'all catch when they started comparing the Eagles D line during the Super Bowl to the Packers D? Like, why are you bringing us up? First of all, we've been home for weeks now, but they were like, yeah, the Eagles D line, their average weight is 368, which is 100 pounds more than the Packers D line. I was like,
No?
can you shut up? Like, we don't need to talk. Like, shh. That team doesn't exist right now. I'm on a break, okay? Like, what? It's catching fucking strays during the Super Bowl broadcast, man.
You need to draft some beef. You need like a 400-pound BT.
Well, I told Alex, I was like, listen, our boys are young, okay? They haven't had time to get fat and let themselves go yet. They're still looking for their wives. They ain't married and chubby yet. Like, give them time. They'll beef up.
Unbelievable. Well, it's been a great season. We'll see what next year holds. Abe, thanks so much for coming on all season long. The AAA has been awesome. It's been a lot of fun to talk football all year long. And next year we'll be talking about my Bears at this time of the year. So it'll be good stuff. Amanda's not
I think
feeling it.
Alex needs therapy. No, next year we'll just be talking about how I whooped your asses at picks for yet another year. That's
No, John, I'm gonna say it right now. Next year, Alex is winning the picks. I'm calling my shot. Amanda's been owning it for 2 years. It's her first 2 years on the pod. I gotta help her out, make her look good.
Yeah, you got you. I think one thing you got to do is sometimes you got to let your ego go and
mhm.
Yeah,
just
I
be
got.
like, I'm gonna follow because she said it. I'm not gonna go with just because she said. You know what? I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
the. You know.
Alex
Hey,
thinks with his
anything's
heart a little bit
possible.
too much.
Yeah, I was picking
Exactly.
against the Lions and the Chiefs too much.
God, yeah. Sometimes you got to pick the
It
Chiefs to win. Oh,
happened. Well, John's got
what's
some.
going on?
Got some.
John's ready to sign off, man. He already started
Yeah.
his movie.
Scared the shit out of me too. I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah, I heard something. I was like, "What's going on? Your phone or something?" But
My
well,
T-bone.
good shit, guys. Always fun talking with you. Great season, and we'll be in touch. Have a great off season. Damn, look at that view.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, bye
That's
bye.
that's baller. Hope you guys
Peace,
enjoyed
y'all.
it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great week, and peace out.